Everyone, today we'll talk about the mindsets of entrepreneur and how different between business entrepreneur and manager. To further and easier understand about the mindsets of entrepreneur, I will choose three entrepreneurs from global, local, and social enterprises to examine their mindsets. Because mindsets cannot be defined precisely at any theory, and it does not have any formula to be a successful entrepreneur. It's all based on yourself and your experiences. So first, move on to Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. Richard Branson, full name is Sir Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, is a British entrepreneur and adventurer who founded Virgin Group and is known for his publicity stunts as well as setting records in powerboat racing and hot air ballooning. He was born in July 18, 1950 in Shamley Green, Surrey, England. Branson, who dropped out of high school, started his first successful business venture as a teenager with a publication student. In the late 1960s, as the magazine began to lose money, Branson founded Virgin Mail Order Records to raise funds. And moving on to Branson mindsets, as I said earlier, entrepreneurial mindsets do not necessarily have a precise definition that every successful entrepreneur should apply, but each one of those outstanding entrepreneurs at least share some common unspoken rules to be successful. And the former high school dropout who went on to become a successful serial entrepreneur has unquestionably made his imprint on the world. Richard Branson has demonstrated that with power of positive thinking, anything is possible. And these four mindsets below are the shift creative mindset that could change any game. And the first one is surround yourself with high achiever. Most of the successful entrepreneurs understand how important to surround themselves with people who perceive business as wise or even wise than the one who are struggling with it. One mentor does not need to be a close friend, but the one who could give support and guidance that help entrepreneur turns their goals into targets. Branson once said, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Give them everything they need to grow, and your business will thrive. The second one is cultivating a larger than life appetite. Opportunities will present themselves if people keep focused on their dream. It is entirely up to them whether or not to accept it. Branson has no prior expertise or background in any of the enterprises he founded. All he had were his larger than life ambitions to keep him going. Starting a firm with no experience in that industry needn't hold you back, since there was the option to recruit people who know more about that area than you. He started his entrepreneurial path not only was he interested in business, but to maintain his journalism and his magazine student. The third one is live a life of adventure and curiosity. Branson had no intention of turning into a serial entrepreneur. It occurred as a result of his curiosity and desire to learn more. Branson has always adhered to one key belief: don't start a firm with the sole purpose of making money. Do it because you're enthusiastic, curious, and eager to learn something new. He appreciates the challenge of attempting to do something better than other people. Branson says of his motivation for founding each of his firms. And the last one is choosing messy action over perfectionism. Branson founded many firms in various industries despite having no business degree or even a high school diploma to his name. He could have easily given up on his magazine because of his dyslexia, but he didn't. Instead, he took advantage of it and altered his leadership style accordingly. His dyslexia has helped him keep communication efficient and show him the value of delegating. Branson said in an interview with Bloomberg, take the jump if you have the passion and desire for what you do. You figure it out as you go. People assume they want qualifications, the ideal approach, and meticulous documentation of every choice when all they truly require is action. Take action, learn from your mistakes, and try again until you get it perfect. That is his four mindsets in doing business. And moving on to how his background fostered his entrepreneurship. Dropping out of school at the age of 16 did not pull Branson back on the way being who he is now. He started with a job journalist at The Student, the magazine for the young generation. By 1969, Branson was residing in a commune in London, close to the country's drug and music scenes. In order to support his magazine endeavors, Branson came up with the idea to create Virgin. He reinvested his money on new things. At first, he did not start business with the thought of making huge amount of money or becoming a billionaire or millionaire. He just started because he knew it could uphold his journal student, so he could continue his writing career. And Richard once said, "It's common misconception that money is every entrepreneur's magic for success. It's not, and nor should it be." Did not finish high school, nurture in Richard's mindset of not following any rules in doing business. and failing is just as normal as succeeding. He could have failed at school, but not in life. When he was a child, failing at school made people thought that he was a failure. Therefore, he proved them that he could do whatever he wants to, as long as he remains hardworking and passionate. As displayed through his quote, "Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Life has many opportunities for everyone. One door closes may open another one better." And next, moving to the local entrepreneur is Đặng Lê Nguyên Vũ. Đặng Lê Nguyên Vũ was born in February 10th, 1981. Is a famous Vietnamese businessman. He's the founder, chairman, and general director of Trung Nguyên Group. He was honored by National Geographic Traveler and Forbes Asia as Vietnamese Coffee King. According to Western business people, his personal fortune can be up to 100 million USD. When honored by Forbes as Vietnamese Coffee King, he, along with Vinamilk chairman Kiều Linh, was one of the Vietnamese businessmen praised by Forbes. Starting a coffee business, Mr. Vũ not only planned his business plan, he also raised the level of business. Was the founder of Trung Nguyên coffee philosophy, formed the coffee region of coffee doctrine, coffee philosophy of humanity, demonstrating the contribution of coffee to humanity. He's also the person who turned Vietnam into a global coffee mecca. Moving into his mindsets, the very first is having a better life. His father passed away when Vũ was just a child. Penetrate the inner self of Vũ with an idea of earning money and be wealthy. He could do anything to earn money to help his mother in life. And the second one is the social goal. Observing the poverty of farmer who was taking care and selling the most expensive coffee bean in the world, but not being paid enough to afford life. Đặng Lê Nguyên Vũ realized that why did not we, the Vietnamese, turn the coffee bean into a final product as a cup of coffee? That is the way to make the finance situation of the farmer improved. His goal was buying the raw beans from the farmer with higher price and turning them into cups of coffee. With that idea, he has helped the lives of the farmers better. The third one is perseverance. One of the most important aspects of one successful entrepreneur is perseverance, which means they believe in the constancy of action. Failing, if it's not seen as a must in the path of entrepreneurship, is still a lesson learned. And last but not least, belief in himself. The belief, especially in oneself, is a booster for entrepreneur and a key for success. One does not believe in themselves, trust the process, admit the situation, and hold on to their ability, cannot build a company that everyone relied on. Vũ believed in himself and made his partners trust him and his company to the point they lent him their one and only asset, which is the motorbike, to keep his company going. And it's kind of important to understand how his background fostered him in his entrepreneurship. As you know, Vũ was born into a low-income farming family on February 10th in Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa. His family relocated in Đắk Lắk, province of central western Vietnam in 1979, and living with poverty entire childhood nourished the will of being successful and wealthy. Hardworking is the one and only guideline in the path of successful of Vũ. Being hardworking and believing in himself nurtured the dream and vision of Vietnamese coffee in him. And last but not least, Blake Myskowski, the founder of Tom's Shoes. Blake has never worked for anyone but himself, and not every entrepreneur can claim their company has a higher purpose, and even fewer can claim to have created a significant new social entrepreneurship model. Blake Myskowski, the founder of Tom's Can. In 2006, after spending time assisting with destitute Argentinian children, Myskowski came up with the concept of Tom's, a basic yet stylish shoe brand that would donate one pair to someone in need for every pair sold. That simple thought blossomed into something greater than he could have dreamed at the time. And his mindsets, he had 5 core mindsets, which are creativity, thinking of a specific social issue and how your social company will solve it requires a lot of ingenuity. Thinking creatively about what aspect of that societal issue your company wants to address is necessary. You must be able to address the societal issue in an original way and implement it into your company. You must devote it to a concept in addition to being passionate about it. Business goal. If you want to launch your own social enterprise, you must have a business objective to strive for. Innovative concept cannot exist in a vacuum. How are you going to fund this concept? Where will the funding originate? How will you raise funds? For the first time, Blake Myskowski, the creator of Tom's Shoes, experienced the genuine impact of being shoeless. The blister, the wounds, and the illnesses. He also observed severe areas of poverty. A pair of shoes will be donated and purchased for every pair by the shoe company Tom's, which operates under the one-for-one business model. Since then, they have given away over 10 million pairs of shoes in 40 different nations. And the next one is the most important one, social goal. And you must put in place a social aim if you want your business goal to be successful. By examining your societal influence, you must be able to measure your success. How will you increase your impact on society? How does a business's product and service help the societal issue it is attempting to solve? And how much will you value the success of your company? For every pair of shoes sold, Blake Myskowski wanted to give a new pair of shoes free of charge to a young person in Argentina or another developing country. Tom's had now branched out into eyewear, with a portion of sales going toward helping people in developing nations preserve and regain their sight. Our originality, starting a social venture that copies the operations of another business is pointless. You must be creative while considering new approaches to tackling social problems and solutions to this obstacle. With Tom's, Myskowski could be proud to be a founder of the very first enterprise that started the model of buy one and give one to another in need. The one-for-one model was a novel concept and a compelling business concept that appealed to consumers as means to support a firm with a cost while also being an easy way to meet a need. Numerous small firms had adopted this concept. And last but not least, open-minded. Starting a social venture that copies the operation of another business is pointless, right? And it isn't enough to simply improve on an established idea by copying. You should instead look in unexpected directions and challenge conventional wisdom. And going to Argentina and seeing kids walking in life with barefoot rose an idea of giving those kids a pair of shoes in Blake. Wearing no shoes cause a lot of diseases and infection to such young children. Myskowski did not really into the idea of operating a charity organization where people occasionally donate shoes. It was very kind to them, he thought, but it was not fit to the kids' size. Blake then intended to start a company up with a mission of giving a pair of shoes to a child in need. Blake has failed and succeeded in things, but he still decided to start a for-profit company because all fails he has is a lesson for him to learn. Depending on anyone or anything does not exist in his mindset. Social enterprise is not an easy company to operate, and yet Blake has done so many things he could to achieve the vision and mission of Tom's. And that is about the mindset and how background can foster or hinder the entrepreneurship. And moving on to the differences between entrepreneur and business manager. The main distinction between an entrepreneur and a manager is their position inside the organization. An entrepreneur is a visionary who turns a company idea into reality. He is the business owner, hence he's responsible for all financial and other hazards. But a manager, on the other hand, is an employee who is paid for his services. As a result, he does not have to take any chances. The next one is an entrepreneur's primary focus is on founding a business and then expanding it, but a manager will be concerned in the smooth operation of the company on a daily basis. And the third one is about success and duty. The main source of motivation for an entrepreneur is success. Manager, on the other hand, are motivated by the authority that comes with the position, which is duty. The profit an entrepreneur makes from his business is his reward for all of his efforts, but the manager is an employee, and his remuneration is based on the company's wage. And but last but not least, by definition, an entrepreneur is a risk taker. To propel the organization forward, he must take measured risk. A manager, on the other hand, is fearful of taking risk. His role is to keep the company running smoothly. As a result, he cannot afford to take chances. And that is my presentation for today about entrepreneur, the mindset of entrepreneur, and how different between entrepreneur and business manager. Thank you for listening.